Did I make the beginning slightly more entertaining? And Mary and Stan, did you see your name at all? I thought that was pretty cool. I tried to do cool things. Hello, David, you were there too, but it looks like maybe you didn't see it. Hello, yes, a lot of familiar people. Hello, Heather. Hello, Matt. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Stan. Caleb. Caleb, thank you for all the sharing that you do. I appreciate it. Jason Canopy. Canop. Jason, how are you? So yeah, Colin is here. Before we bring Colin out, he's been in the green room. Let me tell you, he's been very demanding. He's like, I can't drink Dasani. It has to be Aquafina. He needs certain colored M&Ms. It's a little strange, but we did everything that he asked for. Now I hope he's happy. Hello, the live place. I do want to tell you this show. I'm going to run this along the bottom for a second. Is sponsored by this gentleman here. Do you know Donald Nicholson? Donald Nicholson, he's one of our friends that's always here on the show. He's part of a book called The Long and Short of It. No, it's not Disney, but he insisted on advertising. It's a science fiction book, and we'll talk about it more later. But Donald G. Nicholson, if you can go to Amazon later and pick up this book, you'll support. Look at this. The book has arms. You can support me, and you can support the book for him. It's pretty high up there on Amazon. As a matter of fact, it's got a 5-star rating with 20 reviews. So let's get to Collin Kendall. If I told you where Colin was from, I don't know. He's from After Hours. He's from Guide for WDW. Your fingers are in a lot of things.
Yeah, there's kind of a lot of everything. Well, first off, thanks for having me, bud.
You're welcome. You had me, and we had a lot of fun.
Have fun, and I mean, we're just Disney guys that like to talk Disney. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's good just to be here. But yeah, it's a lot of everything. We're doing the After Hours show with Jason, who's in the comments tonight, and Carlos, and was recently on Lou's show, WDW Radio, and I've been on a lot of podcasts recently. It seems like that time of year for some reason or another, but it's been a lot of fun, and it's good to be here.
If I had to say, Colin, what's your main gig? What would you pick out of all of them, or is there not one does not take over?
Really, at the moment, I'm putting the most time into After Hours, but I'm bringing my site back to life soon. I mean, I've got a little over 350 articles there to begin with, guide4wdw.com. It is kind of my main thing. It's been my main thing for I think it's almost 4 years now, which is kind of crazy to think about.
It's kind of silly, but when you say After Hours, I think about, do you remember when they would do like Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated After Hours? Did you ever watch that?
Maybe a few times.
It's from the Perry the Platypus, so that's when I think of After Hours. Okay, so the After Hours show, which is a lot of fun, when is that on?
So it's actually 9 p.m. on Thursday night. So there's one coming up this week, and then next week we might have two shows.
It's not Tuesday. It's not Tuesday. That's just good.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good thing it's not Tuesday. Well, we'd be later anyway, so it wouldn't matter. It's at 9.
Anything can happen on Wednesday. Wednesday nights, nobody does anything.
Except that one guy.
That one guy. What's his name? LeFou does
The
something.
Mongello guy, yeah.
Who is the pharmacist? Someone is asking, and I don't know.
Pharmacist.
I don't know. I'll figure this stuff out. Hello, Stephen Harris. Okay, so yeah, After Hours takes place Thursday at
9 p.m. 9 p.m.
Okay,
Eastern.
why are you saying there might be 2 shows?
So I'm actually in Florida next week. I'm flying down from Kentucky, and 3 of us are going to meet up and do a live show, possibly Tuesday and possibly Thursday. So we'll
Okay,
have, we're trying to
so that's
figure out
just-
what we're going to do, but we're going to do something a little different this week.
Just this week. That was actually a lot of fun doing your show, except when
I'm
it
glad you had
came to us, except when it came to a specific part of sounds.
It's
there
a
was
difficult topic. We got to make it as hard as possible. People nail it every week.
Jason, I'm going to send you some sounds, and I want you to identify them for me. They're going to be just a
one you
bunch
sent
of
me earlier.
yeah. It's going to be like white noise is what they wanted me to identify.
The scary thing is people identify it every week. We've never once stumped them enough that they couldn't come up with the answer.
So that's why the show that I got was like really crazy.
Yeah, so it builds every single week. So like the first week we had like long clips, and they were like, I mean, they weren't super long, but they were like 5 seconds. They were more mainstream things that people got it like instantly, like less than 10 seconds. And we're like, how in the world did you even manage to do that? So we just keep making it worse and worse every week. Now we've slowed them down a little bit.
The sounds they gave me, for anybody that's watching and hasn't seen it, it's after a show. You can go watch it. I think it's still on there on Facebook that you could watch.
Yeah,
but
they're all available on the replay, both on YouTube and on Facebook. Yeah,
some of the sounds they gave me was like, that's the sound of a pistachio in the Grand Floridian hallway, floor number 3, hallway 2. I was like, okay.
Not quite that specific, but it is pretty close.
pretty specific.
We gave him the hardest of the hard ones. So.
Okay, so Jason Knapp, are they both Brazilian?
No.
Who's
Jason's
the Brazilian?
our whitest nobody that lived in California for a little while, but he's in.
Okay,
he's
so
in
Carlos is the Carlos is the Brazilian.
Yeah.
Who spells Brazil wrong on his shirt anyway. He spelled it Brasile.
If I remember correctly, I think he moved here about 10 to 15 years ago. I mean, he's been here a while. He is a U.S. citizen now, so like he's not on a visa.
Oh,
or anything,
that's so
yeah,
cool.
He is here. Yeah, he's here to stay. He lives down in Miami most of the time, but he kind of right now he bounces back and forth from Orlando and Miami. So he'll be.
They're 2 really good guys.
Oh, absolutely. I work with Jason, so it's I see Jason daily, so he's a really good guy. I give him crap all the time, but he is a really good guy.
You have Cheryl Picard as a fan. I'm a fan of Cheryl's. I don't know if you know
Cheryl's
Cheryl.
a great person. Yeah,
Cheryl, she really is.
Definitely recognize that name.
And you know what? Her kids, nicest kids in the world too.
Really,
the most respectable, nicest kids. She needs to give a class on raising children, apparently. Unless there's a lot of stuff I don't know. You know, when she gets home, she might get slapped around a little bit. I don't know. But I'm telling you, from what I saw, very nice kids, for real. Okay, so what is the guide for Walt Disney? Is that a book?
So it started as a book, which was the Adventurer's Guide to Walt Disney World that I did when I was I guess I started when I was a sophomore in college. And
can I go buy that book?
You can. It's on Amazon. It is a little outdated because it was kind of a guidebook. So you know how things are with Disney. As soon as you press publish, it's kind of out of date. And that kind of transitioned into as soon as I realized, I'm like, well, that was dumb. Now it's out of date immediately. But there is come on,
you got to make versions. You got to update it.
But it's very time consuming comparatively. So I ended up with the website, and the website I can update whenever I choose to. Which
so the guide for I should have had the logo here, but I have it on the thumbnail. Guide for the number 4 WDW. If I go to .com, it'll bring me there.
Yep, that'll be me.
That's a pretty good website to get there.
I kind of snagged it before it got real popular, so it kind of worked out well. And,
hey, Don.
Well, thanks. Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's the Don that wrote
awesome.
The long and short of it. Well, he didn't write the whole thing. It's 5 novellas in what he calls the Savage Title universe. You know what? Let me put this up here for Don so people can go check that out. You know what? I started to read it and I learned something. One of the people doesn't believe what the other person is saying, and the guy says, "I call Chinto squat." And I'm, I call bull. Yeah. I'm using the contextual clues. I call Chinto squat. Now, Don, I think, was in the Army or the Marines or one of those things.
Makes
so
sense.
It could
Thank
be
you for your service.
Thank you, Don. It could be one of those. But whenever I don't believe now, Don, I'm going to tell him I call Chinto squat. Yeah, Linda, you need to go buy Don's book. I always give Linda things to buy because she usually listens to me. But no, because
Well, I have a store. I'm just kidding.
What is your store? I need to know your. What is your store?
I sell photography prints. So,
oh, that's right.
I'm the big
I
photography guy, and that's kind of my differentiating factor. At least I like to think it is on my site. So a select few of my favorite photos are available. Just type in the web address /shop, and they're metallic prints, so it's kind of different.
Give me the entire web address.
Yeah, guide4wdw.com /shop.
And the 4 is the number 4, not the FOR.
Yes. Yeah.
4.
I actually don't think either one of. I don't think the other one's taken, which is I should have taken, which I still probably should buy, but I haven't yet. But
hello, Japan.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, Mary says the Kindle version is only $4.99. That's actually pretty good. Don, can you tell me if they buy the Kindle version? Does your he wants to get from like the number 4 on the chart on Amazon this book. He wants to get to like 3 or 2. So if they buy the Kindle version, Don, does that go with the?
That's hard to do, dude. That must be a really good book.
It's an established like series, he says, and again, I know it's not Disney, but apparently it's great science fiction. So maybe it's like Stitch's Great Escape, that kind of science fiction.
Hey, you never
have
know.
you? Are you young enough that you? I didn't read all of it. Are you young enough that you have not been to Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter when it was open?
So, if I remember correctly, and somebody's probably going to call me out on this, I was born in '96. So, if I think it was early '90s, I mean late '90s when it closed, at least before they started changing things. So I would have been really, really young. I don't remember it per se. Now I could have experienced it, but you would
have been scared. I think you would have remembered
probably.
It. Have you watched videos?
No, I have seen video of it, and it's
okay.
Honestly, of the two, I prefer it. I just think it's more interesting, and it's more kind of unique to Disney than like Stitch's Great Escape, just kind of IP franchise type stuff. Yeah.
Stitch's Great Escape. How many times were you on Stitch's Great Escape? Because I did, I think, twice, and I couldn't.
Maybe 3 times. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't care for it.
Have a repeat value.
It just wasn't entertaining to me, and that's bold for me because I rarely say anything negative about anything Disney puts out. It's just who I am. I don't see any value in being negative about that kind of stuff. But I really just didn't care for that attraction. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was really cool. Like it was just kind of a one and done for me. I mean. I didn't like the smells. I didn't like getting spit on, and I mean,
give me back my chili dog.
Yeah, exactly. I had more fun just watching my sister's reaction to it than I did actually watching the show. So if she wasn't there, I wasn't really into it. So
the Stitch animatronic I thought was fantastic.
It is. It's really, really impressive. And even though the animatronics that they put in the tubes in the pre-show area are really, really neat too.
And I think those were the same animatronics. I think. Actually,
yes, no. I think they were a variation of the originals, if I remember.
A variation of the original. Let me tell you that the Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter was pretty amazing. I'm sorry it left. I do have one quick story if you want to laugh.
Sure.
I was in the.
Especially if it involves you.
I was in the Alien Encounter, and I think I've told this somewhere before. I'm not sure where. And there was a British child who said, "Mother, is there danger here?" And the mother said, "No, son, there's no danger here." And I'm like, oh, they don't know what they're in for, these people. And then the thing comes down and it goes over your shoulders. And again,
which is like the weirdest thing ever.
Mother, is there danger here? And she's telling him, no, there's not. Kathy and Jimmy, one of the witches from the Sanderson sisters, was in there as an alien. And they're talking, and one of her lines, right before the lights go off and this fake glass shatters, is she yells, "The people down there are in danger!" Now, I know this is coming.
Yeah.
So I hear the British kid again go, "Mother, are you sure we're not in danger?" And I'm going, "Oh, beautiful day! This is gonna be..." And sure enough, when Kathy and Jimmy goes, "Those people down there are in danger," I hear, "Ah!" This, and I did feel bad for the kid. He's probably in therapy till today.
But and really, when you first sit down on an attraction and the thing comes down, you expect it to spin.
I did.
Spin.
I don't want to. You don't centrifuge. You don't centrifuge.
Gosh, no. Oh no, bad things would happen.
Did you go on Mission Space ever?
No. No,
Not
I've
even
never
once.
been on it. I have no desire to. I
Okay,
get
don't.
motion sick, so that's kind of the running joke during the after hour show that Jason gives me and Carlos a hard time because Carlos doesn't do drops, and I don't do things that spin at any pace. So like anything that loops, I'm out, and if anything spins, I'm out. Now everything else, like basically anything in Magic Kingdom, I'll ride, but if it spins, I'm done. I'm out. If it goes upside down, keep me right side up. Bad things
Al,
will occur.
Al from Florida Freaks, good guy. Your pal Al says AE was super intense for Disney, and it was. I mean,
I think I've
I
met
just
Al.
thought they needed it. And Brandon's talking about if you sit up. Yeah. By the way, Stan Solo, if you know, he doesn't do drops either.
Yeah, no, Stan.
Brandon
Yeah.
says if you sit straight up when the bars come down, it's a less scary experience. Sure, because
True.
when
It does keep it away from you a little bit. Yeah.
yeah,
It doesn't do that weird bouncing thing as much. You don't feel it as bad. Yeah, but apparently it's not coming back.
it's not coming back.
Yeah.
But what could they
I
do
thought
with
it
that
was gone already,
space?
but
Me too. I did. Nobody had to
Yeah.
tell me it wasn't
Yeah.
reopening.
I thought when
Actually,
it closed like last Christmas or whenever that was, like for the last time it had been seasonal, like for a week. Like, yeah, that's not coming back.
I really don't know what can be done with that space. I think if they used
don't
two
either.
if they used 2 floors, they could make some sort of a dark ride in there because there's technically 2 theaters. So that big round theater, you have 2
Right.
of them, the show area and the pre-show area. You can make a little dark ride if you wanted to. But they're talking about Wreck-It Ralph, complete rumor. I have no idea if that's
Yeah, I've heard that a few times, and I bet there's some value to it, but again, I hate to speculate at all, but it fits the area quite well, I would say, or it's
Yeah.
different.
You know what I think of? Remember when they went through the tubes, like they went through the electrical wires?
Mhm. Yeah, and the
Penelope
second
and
one, yeah,
That's what I think. Maybe that tube, if they want to use that tube to make people
that's
come
possible.
in.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it would
Mission
have
to
be different,
Mars.
for sure.
Talked Marie to go on AI. Still paying for it. Okay, to AE rather. Alien Encounter. Yeah, that's bad. So the 3 things that are technically going away was Stitch, as we know. Primeval World. Are you going to miss it? What do you think?
See, I always liked it, but at the same time, it wasn't something like I'm going to rush to ride. I mean, to me, it felt like a carnival attraction that they'd kind of stuck there, and it's supposed to be that way because of the theming of it. But I mean, I think Disney can do better with the space, if I'm completely honest. Even considering Dinoland is a incredible area at night. Very few people get to see it at night, but well, they used to. I mean, now you can see it at night more so, not in the current situation, but before, when they were open late hours, you could see it at night, and it's just a really neat experience. But if it's the best use of space at Disney, I think they can do better, especially
agree.
with some of the tech they've got out now. The thing that's weird to me is that they're closing attractions now when they don't have all of them open right now to begin with, so they're closing even more.
I think right now a lot of it is saving money. A lot of it.
Yeah, and I mean, they're spreading out the crowds the best they can. They're limiting so many things. I mean, they got to do what they got to do. At the end of the day, they're a company. I mean, I can't fault them for that.
I agree.
It
By
is
the way,
weird, though.
Primeval World, I do think the whole area needs to be reworked. I don't know if I would like it to be Indiana Jones, even though we keep hearing that. And I
Yeah, I've
think
heard
Mary's
that
still talking
too.
about
I
Stitch.
really like Indiana Jones. Does it feel right for that space? Not entirely, but I thought that about Pandora too. So
That's true, yeah. Disney
So,
will always make it
yeah,
work.
they can make
But
it work perfectly.
Zootopia.
A lot of people, that
Zootopia
would make a
would
lot of
fit.
people happy. I've only
I
seen
recently-
bits and pieces of that movie though. To be pretty frank, I've seen like.
I'm sorry,
half of
ladies
it.
and gentlemen. I'm removing Colin. Thank you for coming. No, Colin, really?
Yeah.
You haven't watched Zootopia in its entirety?
All of it. No. I
Come
know.
on,
It's
you
like
have to.
shame, isn't it? Like
It's a
I
little
don't watch near as many
shameful.
movies as I should, especially with considering I have Disney Plus. I just don't watch as many. Like carving out the time of the day is just not something that's ever on my radar. Like
No, but that's a good movie to spend 90 minutes on. Do it.
true, yeah, true.
But and do you remember Rodentia at all? With where the mice live?
No.
I think it's
I
called
don't-
Little Rodentia. Anyhow, if they took the dinosaur ride and made you go through Rodentia, it'd be pretty cool. But I just came up with that a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, I like that idea. See
clever.
if somebody picks it up. Linda Raymond hasn't seen it either. Yeah, she's definitely getting
The only
unfriended.
one.
What is Kimberly saying? Hold on. She loves Primeval World, but she doesn't like the area. Yeah, you know what it is? Dinoland feels like a cheap fare, but that's the
That's
theme
the
of it.
goal. Yeah.
Eh,
It's I don't know. It's always felt interesting to me, and it's been intriguing to me. Like I love that gift shop that they have there because that's just fun and just kind of quirky and just unique. And there's always unique stuff in there. But when you go from like dinosaur to Restaurantosaurus to Primeval World to the giant dinosaur to the ice cream shack, it's like what's going
no, I
on
agree.
here? Like, and it makes
If
sense. Like when you hear Joe Rohde explain it and all the detail that's been put into it, and that it's supposed to be a parody of the scientists that have moved in, so the carnival moved across the block, and like the whole theming thing works perfectly the way it's supposed to. But most people don't know that's what it's supposed to be,
I
so it's
agree.
hard. It's really tough.
I think a lot of Disney detail is lost on a lot of people.
Oh, for sure, and it's
Do you
part
know?
of why I do what I do, and part of why the reason you do what you do, because it's
Yeah,
it's
but
fun
but
to
I
realize.
even lose it sometimes. Sometimes I have to watch
Yeah.
Lou to figure out some detail.
hmm
Uh, did you ride Rise of the Resistance?
I actually, so there's a story behind that. So I've been to Disney on both coasts since it opened, twice to World and once to Land, and I've not been able to get on it. And it's for a stupid reason, but I've had dining reservations every time that I've been in one of the parks, or I've had a further commitment earlier in the day. So, like, I'm in Orlando quite a bit for work, like actual work, not the Disney related stuff. So, a lot of times I go to the parks after I finish for the day. Well, if you're not there when they open, it's very difficult to get on the attraction, which is basically impossible. And then I was in California, I was with Jason and Carlos, and we had dining reservations throughout the day. So I didn't want to commit to a time block and then end up not being able to.
I get it. I get it.
And then I had a trip planned for early March, right when we got back from California, and it got canceled, obviously, because of the COVID stuff. So we're just now, next week will theoretically be the first time I'll be able to ride it.
Okay. I'm going to give you a little secret about it. It's not really a secret, and I want to know how many people who have ridden it in the chat room knew about this. Because an Imagineer asked me if I caught this, which wasn't supposed to be a hidden detail, not a clue. You've watched videos of the ride?
Yes, yeah, it's nothing's a surprise to me.
Okay. Do you know why Kylo, something breaks behind him and Kylo gets like sucked out of the thing and the ceiling falls on him? I just thought it was an unfortunate bunch of events for him.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side is a huge video screen, like a window, looking out of the ship. And that's where your resistance fighters are shooting vehicles and stuff.
Right.
And they want to save us. So some laser bullets come from the side, and they hit the back of the ship, and that's when he goes, and he gets sucked out. I didn't notice that happens. Does anybody? It's not really a secret. Shabetta, did you even know that happened? Because he's telling me no secrets. It's not a secret. It's supposed to be that you know that that's why it happens. I did not know that. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Because I was like, nope.
Now I'll have to look for it.
Okay.
Like,
It's not a spoiler if you went on it. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I hope it's not a spoiler. Takes place in a galaxy far, far away. That is a spoiler. Okay, so going back to, and I'll get back to this stuff, but going back to what's being removed, we know about Primeval World. We know how you feel about Stitch. How do you feel about Rivers of Light, and have you actually seen it in person?
So I have seen it, but I've not. So I've seen it once from the actual like seating area,
Okay.
and honestly did not stay the whole time because I had another commitment, so I had to bail out. And basically,
This seems to be there is a pattern
growing
going on with
trend.
you. Have you know? Okay,
I'm
you
there for
haven't
a
watched
short
all.
amount of time usually.
You haven't watched
so-
all of Zootopia. You have okay.
Yeah,
You have a attention deficit a little.
I should. I haven't been tested, but it's probably likely. But I have seen the majority of the show though from the. So if you go around towards Yak and Yeti, and between Yak and Yeti and Expedition Everest, that kind of area where you can see kind of from the side, I have seen the whole show from there, which is different. Honestly, I love the music. Love what they did with the show. I think they could have done more with the entertainment factor rather than it's. My dad said it best when we were there as a family trip because we often travel with family. There's 5 or 6 of us usually, and my older sister was there, and she looked at me, and my dad looked at me, and they all said the same thing. It's like, it's a pretty show, but it's not really holding my interest. Like,
We spoke about Joe Rorty before. Seeing how he built it up,
hmm
and they showed these magnificent conceptual artist drawings.
right, and they looked
I was
incredible. I
incredible.
was expecting World of Color tier,
Me too.
and I think he was too, in all reality. And they kept scaling it back and scaling it back because things didn't work, and then they didn't work again, and then they had that interim show to fill time, and I think it just got too much of it ended up on the chopping block. And
The projections were also so blurry to me. They never could get the water to meet
right,
in the middle.
it's something about the wind and the way that it sits there, and it was just
And
it's a very
yeah,
difficult show to get everything working the way it's supposed to.
but even when they finally did, the end never paid off for me. I was like, all right, a little bit of fire in the end.
Yeah, and I get it. They can't do pyrotechnics and stuff like they can in other parks, but I was honestly I was expecting World of Color, and that was before I'd seen World of Color, so I was like really excited about it. And then I see that, and then I go out to California and see World of Color. It's like, yep, this isn't the same. This isn't even close.
So
Like,
now, when it comes to Harmonious, I'm reserved because I want to love it. I think I'm going to. I don't think they're going to skimp on Epcot, but now with the COVID, I'm scared. You think they're going to give us what we want with Harmonious?
so I think they've got a lot at stake. Knowing Disney the way that I do, I don't think they'll let us down on this big of a show replacing such an iconic show. At least that's what I'm hopeful of, and I'll reserve any kind of judgment towards it until I actually get to see it. But I'm one of
What
the
did
few,
you What did you feel about Epcot Forever?
I so I have mixed feelings about it. One, it reeks of temporary. I mean, it's supposed to though. I mean,
I feel the same way.
yeah. I do really like the show though, and for a different reason than most. Because for me, it's a lot of stuff I never got to see at Epcot. At least not in a form that I would remember it well. Because most of the stuff that's in that show was less than 4 when it went away. So being able to see that, because I'm kind of a Disney history nut to begin with, not on loose scale, but like I love to research and read about the parks and the nostalgia of it all. So from a nostalgia factor, even from not experiencing those things, being able to experience them in a different way, for lack of a better word, where I can hear the music in the park, where I can do gosh, really into guys. But so much of it is just it's nostalgia factor for me, and that's why I enjoy that show, because it's stuff that I didn't get to experience.
Yeah, but
I do like
it's almost
the
like they did the fan pandering with, here's a little bit of music from
Right.
Imagination. Here's a little bit of music. Like, all right, you didn't do too much, but I get it.
I
I
will say
love the Walt,
photography opportunities are less than stellar in that show,
except a close up of a kite.
yeah, and which is near impossible to do, especially in that level of darkness. I mean, there are some cool moments, like you can get light trails and stuff when the kites light up, and there's a series in the middle where they have the 3 that are kind of in a triangle that go up. Actually, I got lucky and Disney reshared one of mine that was from that night that you were there, at the dessert party night. And I mean,
But how come Mary and Linda don't? They're like 2 Karens tonight. How come they don't like Harmonious's name? I love the
does
name
sound a little
Harmonious. Listen, but it's Harmonious, us, and they're taking the countries and they're giving you a big hug and they're
true.
putting all the countries together again. Come on, 2 Karens I got here.
here's what I hope. I hope what we see with Epcot Forever is just the very slight iteration of what we could see from Harmonious, and I hope it's scaled up to an extraordinary level. I do kind of hope that they don't overload it with like modern Disney music, because it was kind of that classic show, but I think it's inevitable. I mean,
Well,
it
you
gets
heard the
people
music
smart.
at you heard the D23 music, right?
That's true. I don't think that's all of it, is it?
It's not. No. I think it's going to be a lot of IP music.
Yeah.
You're going to hear, Aladdin. For Morocco, you're going to hear, Coco for Mexico, and then I think towards the end it'll all come together with that.
Right. And my hope is that we'll have a kind of World of Color-esque experience, but at a different scale and a more spread out scale. And then you have the kites and stuff that you can add into it. I think they could do it really, really well. And the lasers and stuff they've added are really impressive. I just can't wait to see what they do. I don't know when it will be at this rate. I bet it'll be next year. But we'll have to hurry up and wait on that one.
I think Jeremy Goff, being a music person, probably liked it more because of his creativity with music. Maybe that. I think that's probably why because he really liked it. I just think I expected so much more from it. No, Mary, we were friends until you didn't like the name Harmonious. Mary, we're more like brother and sister. You know that. I think Linda can attest to me being like brother and sister with her, though. No kidding, Jason. Well, I'm just looking at these comments real quick to get caught up, seeing if Canap came out with anything smart again. But
probably.
No, not really. It's pretty rare. Oh, wait, he did. But it's talking to Jeremy. Hey, buddy, I also like Rivers of Light, the music and the floats.
That's Jason's personality, though. He's the go with the flow guy. He's the slow. I have the kind of experience. I've got the quiet spots. I've got the video. We know Jason. We know what he likes.
Is Carlos here? We should have the Brazilian here.
Carlos is doing his own live show tonight. It's his live show night. So.
Tonight's his live show night?
Yeah, he does one. I think it's a short one, but I'm not positive. I can't understand it because it's in Portuguese.
Is it in Portuguese? We should go over there and just start doing... Por favor, manténganse al lado de las puertas. Even though that's technically not Portuguese.
Yeah, close enough.
Okay, so getting back to what everybody was talking about when we were talking about Rivers of Light, Yak and Yeti, have you been?
Yes, I love it.
Okay, see now
listen,
even if you didn't like it, I have to be real honest with you. You're too skinny for me to take food advice, but I do think
you actually.
No. I think I've heard that you eat a lot, so you might. I do trust you then with food. It's okay. I wouldn't until I spoke to you.
It's scary considering.
No. If you were working at like Baskin Robbins, and Carlos is not a big guy, but he's bigger than you, and he was working next to you at Baskin Robbins, I would go to Carlos. Sure, I wouldn't have you put ice cream on my cone, but that doesn't mean. So no, Yak
I do the same thing.
Is Yak and Yeti really good?
I love it. Honestly, I got to meet Steven Schussler, who owns Yak and Yeti. One of Lou's events.
Oh, that's right. We both saw him at Momentum.
Yeah, and the night before we got to go to dinner with him, so that was really, really neat. Some of the speakers did for that, and he's a really, really nice guy, and hearing the stories about that place was really, really cool.
Did anybody ask him why the food at something like the Rainforest Cafe is just okay, and Yak and Yeti just consistently seems so amazing? And it is.
I am going to guess it's because he doesn't own those anymore.
He
owns Boathouse and he owns Yak and Yeti, to my knowledge. He just
Amazon Rainforest is gone out of
owns the other two.
Landry. Wait, so Yak and Yeti's not a Landry's property anymore?
It is, but it's different because he curated it. Is my understanding. I could be totally wrong on that, but it seems like he had a bigger hand in Yak and Yeti and stuff beyond the initial concept. Like Rainforest Cafe, he built like in his home, and so I mean that's kind of his baby. But like I think he was kind of design inspired for the rest of them. Took a step back.
Okay, but, are you aware of the Landry's card?
Yes, I have one.
Is it not the best deal going?
If you can't get a reservation, that is the best way to get in.
Okay, I'm going to quickly describe it. You tell me if I'm wrong because I think I remember it. You pay $25. They give you the card. You have an immediate $25 to use, and then you get $25 every birthday.
Yep. So as a gift card that comes in your name. Yeah.
And when you go if there's a line of people,
you get priority access. So you get front of line access. And I told Jason this, and he's like, how did I not know about this? I'm like, because you never asked. But it is one of the best values that we've gotten in years, and we bought it, probably 15 years ago when it was like $10 or $12 at Rainforest Cafe at Disney Springs, of all places, because we wanted to get in faster. and you immediately get the reward right back out of it, and then you get it every year on top of that, and you get the points. So like, if you eat these fairly regularly, especially if you're congratulations, if you're an Orlando local or one of these properties is nearby, like I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, but Louisville has a bunch of these restaurants, or at least 2 or 3 of them. So if we're in Louisville, we'll just eat at one of those, bankroll the points, and then use the points as rewards at Disney.
If you really want to see somebody with a big head, and I usually don't, I'm really humble, I swear. But when I walk in with my Landry's card and there's a line of people, and
It's the best feeling ever, isn't it?
you walk in, you're like, "Hi, everyone," and you give your card, and they're like, "Your table's ready," and those people are like,
What? I've been here for 30 minutes.
I can just hear them making fun of me as I'm.
Especially when it's like 105 degrees in Animal Kingdom. Like, it's one thing if it's Disney Springs and T-Rex has like a line of like 45 minutes, but when you
I know, Mary's right though. We're giving it away. I wouldn't get the Landry. If you don't have one, I probably wouldn't get it. It's really not worth it.
No, it's funny. It's a great value for the money. I mean, you immediately get it back, and realistically, to buy into their email address. I mean, they're going to send you emails, but most of the stuff's pretty good stuff, and they own a lot of restaurants. I mean, Landry's owns a lot of places now because they've got Rainforest, they've got T-Rex, they've got Yak and Yeti. Now, Boathouse isn't included because it's not owned by Landry's; it's actually owned by Schussler. But you've got I think Morton's is on there.
Okay, wait. So Steven owns things not only through Landry's, but also his own Schussler properties.
So Boathouse is his own thing.
Okay,
that's his baby.
Okay.
That's why his boat sits out back.
Okay, that makes sense.
The others, I believe, are part of a group called Schussler Creative, if I remember correctly. He told me I should know that. But I think he's more design inspired for those type of properties. And he's got, I think under his own umbrella, I think he's got a little drive-in thing up in Minneapolis. I think it's Minneapolis, somewhere up north. That's in his hometown.
We should get him on a show. I should get him on my show.
He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, I think he probably
can tell some incredible stories too.
Remember the story about how he created the rainforest in his house?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And there are many others. He is a very, very creative mind, and he is a really good guy too.
Yeah, he's not somebody that became rich over.
Yeah,
exactly. He didn't become rich overnight. That's what I was going to say.
He put in the work for sure. And he's a class act. Realistically, the only thing I have that I can compare him to, he kind of reminds me of like a Frank Sinatra or somebody like that. He's got that mannerism to him that he's very old school, but he's also very creative, and he's just got that aura to him. Like I can tell stories for 4 days.
Wasn't there a story where he mailed a gorilla or something?
He mailed himself in a box in a gorilla suit to a radio broadcast or something like that.
But did we believe that story that he actually went in through the mail? Dude, come on.
I don't know. He's a creative guy. I mean,
there is a story that I don't think he actually went through the post office, but it looked like he was mailed. He put himself in a box.
Yeah, I think he had somebody drop him off at this radio station or whatever it was.
All right, there's a lot going on about the wontons. I don't think Colin's going to know about these, but maybe he does. Do you know about the wontons at Yak and Yeti?
The dessert ones?
Yes.
Yes, I've not tried.
Okay.
That's the
all right.
thing.
All right.
I do know about them, and they've been recommended to me a few times. But most people, I go in there and I go with family, and I order like 7 different things. And we all kind of share it, and then by the time you get to the end, you're like, I can't eat anymore, which is rare for me. and then you're like, I'll go get ice cream, or I'll get something in a couple hours, or I'll go over to Port Orleans, French Quarter, and get some beignets. Like, there's always a secondary plan when we're in Animal Kingdom for some reason, so we always end up going somewhere else for dessert. But I need to cave and try them one of these days.
All right, let's continue with food. In Epcot, what is your favorite restaurant?
So it changes a little bit. I used to always say Le Cellier. I've had less than stellar experiences there since they changed the menu and increased.
That's what I've heard that from way too many people.
It's still good, but when it goes up like $20 per person, I haven't been as much anymore. I mean, I am not. So
is it just the money went up and that's annoyed you, or the food has gone down? Because people said the food also went down. So you can't have both.
Yeah, I've not experienced both, so I can't vouch for the food going down in quality. Okay. Some of the things that I ordered on the menu, I believe, went away though. So I've looked at the menu a few times, and the price is kind of staggering to me now when I can pay $5 more and go eat at the Yachtsman or Flying Fish at the boardwalk a few steps away. But I love the atmosphere. It is a really, really nice restaurant. It is a good escape from the heat in Epcot, and it's kind of still in that hidden gem category. And we had considered it to go there next week to try it again. So it's definitely not off my list. there's just a lot of things I prefer in Epcot, and one of them's Via Napoli. I love
I like
Via
Via
Napoli.
Napoli too. I do like it.
It's
Have you been to Maria and Enzo's?
I have not.
You're gonna love it more than Via Napoli.
Really? That
It's
surprises me.
same
See, I
owners.
ordered
Same,
the pizza at Via Napoli though, and Jason
That's
gives
what
me
I
a hard time about it because he orders the pasta. But
They're
I have
both
eaten
good, but I order
They're
pizza
both
all
really,
the time.
really good. Yeah. But Via Napoli is just, to me, it's a good balance between price and value. Because you can go in there and you can get a giant pizza and split it among 3 or 4 people, and you can walk out of there with a pretty reasonable bill. And I'm always trying to be cognizant of that because I'm kind of a trip planning guy too on my site. So like the stuff that I try to recommend stuff that everybody's accessible to, or at least the majority.
I just got to write down. You're cheap. Okay, hold on.
I mean, I have no shame in that.
No, I'm kidding. I do this. I do the apps. I say frugal. I do the same exactly.
Yeah,
but you're right. I go with 4 people.
Yeah. If I can do that, it's just one. It spreads out what you can do with the rest of the money for the day if you've got money allocated for it, and
100%.
I mean, it's money you can use elsewhere. So like, as I always like to say, if I save money on food, I can put that money into a resort, or if I save money on a resort, I can put that money in food. I mean, it varies from trip to trip. I'm lucky enough to be able to go quite a bit because of what I do and the family that I have that is obsessed with Disney as well. So we split up costs really easily. But I mean, grand scheme of things, it works out well.
Am I jumping around too much for you guys? Are you just joking? I can't tell.
Okay, so
Brandon's saying
this is a running joke. So we did a show on After Hours, and we did top 5 underrated movies. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Jason's still here; he'll probably correct me. But and one that made my list was the Haunted Mansion movie. I love that movie, and not if you take it out of context, if you take it out of thinking that it's supposed to be based on the attraction. If it was a standalone movie, I think a lot more people would like it.
I think, wasn't it Meg Tilly as Madame Leota?
I don't remember.
I think
it was the former
Jeremy,
wrestler.
The former wrestler.
Yeah,
it was the girl.
I think so.
Okay, somebody, Jeremy or Brandon, tell me who Madame Leota was. I remember not liking who Madame Leota was, and that ruined the whole movie
not
for
perfect.
me. No.
I am an Eddie Murphy fan, though.
I am too. I can't wait for the second Coming to America. It was Jennifer Tilly. I don't think she was a wrestler. Jennifer Tilly is from. She's the bride of Chucky. She's got that squeaky little voice. Maybe you have the wrong movie. Maybe you didn't see Haunted Mansion. Maybe you didn't see
Haunted Mansion.
Do you know what is cool about that? Do you remember by any chance Superman 2, the guy that says Kneel before Zod?
No.
Okay, and if you watch Superman 2, the guy that comes down, he's like the man that tells everybody kneel before Zod, like I'm Zod, and he's the butler in that Haunted Mansion movie.
Ramsley or the other one?
The main butler, the main guy
Ramsey.
that comes in. I think Ramsey. Huh. Yeah,
he's
an old British
the guy
actor.
From Get Smart too.
Could be him.
Dude from Get Smart.
That's probably him.
Yeah.
We've already spent. Look what Jason says.
Exactly.
No, the Guillermo del Toro vision for this needs to come out, but I don't think it's happening.
I don't. Something about that movie. It's got so many funny one-liners to me. I mean,
what? Give me one funny one-liner that you remember from Haunted Mansion, just to refresh my memory.
Some of them I probably shouldn't say live.
Oh, okay. It's like it's a PG movie.
I don't know, but there's so many of them. Like one that I can say is like he's sitting there and there's dead people in the backyard. You know how many times I've quoted that when I've driven by a cemetery?
All right. I like that.
There's so many, and there's one where the Megan, the youngest girl in the movie, she's in. It's like the opening scene of the movie. There's a spider crawling up the window of the kid's bedroom, and Eddie Murphy's trying to teach him how to whack his own spider, and the girl comes in and smashes it and goes, "There, happy?" And it's just, I don't know.
Okay, you know they were supposed to make a remake with Guillermo del Toro, right?
No, I don't think I did know that.
They were supposed to make it was actually announced with a whole slight teaser trailer. It never happens. Guillermo del Toro, who loves the Haunted Mansion and rides it like weekly in California when Disneyland is open, that he was making the Haunted Mansion like a little bit more serious, still tongue-in-cheek playing. It never happened. I'm really hoping that it still happens.
Oh, I'd
but
still be all in favor of that. I
I'd be
love
all-
the Haunted Mansion. I love everything about it. Its history, everything. I mean, I was so disappointed that the one time I made it out to Disneyland this year was closed for refurbishment. I'm like, crap. We're just lucky we got to go in general.
We lost 6 people in talking about the Haunted Mansion.
I'm
Okay.
not surprised.
Let's go back to food. Let's go to Hollywood Studios, your favorite restaurant.
Hollywood Studios is kind of a sore point for me on food.
For me too, actually. For me too.
I'm not a Brown Derby fan. I mean,
Me either.
the menu's never
Mama
appealed to me.
Melrose? Mama Melrose?
Jason's going to be in the comments telling me that I need to eat there. I've not been.
Okay, you do need to eat there.
Yeah.
Can you get into a penne alla vodka?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, do you like bacon?
Yeah, who doesn't like
Okay,
bacon? Is that a
No,
serious? I'm from
there-
Kentucky.
Okay. It's the Italian bacon. It's pancetta, but I just say bacon so people know what it is.
Yeah.
But the penne alla vodka, Jason says Colin is skinny for a reason. The penne alla vodka
This is a man that's seen me eat dinner.
I have to say, with a cold beer and the hot
Yeah.
penne alla vodka with the pancetta, the bacon is so good.
Yeah, it's on
That's
my
a
list
good
to
thing.
try. If I'm in Hollywood Studios, I mean, if I have to eat there, usually I'll actually go to Cape May at
Okay.
Beach Club because it's close by. You can walk or ride the Skyliner. Or Flying Fish is really, really good, and it's not too far away. But if I have to eat in the park, usually I'm going to go to Sci-Fi because I'm a big burger fan.
I do
I
like.
love
Okay,
burger.
then we gotta go back. We gotta go back to Disney Springs. First of all, I don't like Brown Derby, and I'll tell you why later, David. There's not food that I like there. I'm a weird
Same.
food person.
Yeah, I mean,
Edison
the
is
menu's
good
never
too.
appealed to me.
But let's talk burgers for a second. When you go
good.
to the boathouse, I'm suspecting that you might get fish because that's what people think the boathouse is for. But the boathouse actually has their own beef certification from the FDA.
Yes,
They
they
have
do.
the best hamburgers and the best. What's the slider? God, this is a fat guy being hungry right now. I'm sorry, guys. The sliders, the filet mignon sliders
Those are good. Yeah,
They're
they're
like
like the
50
little roll things.
with the garlic
So
butter
good. There's such a
You get
there's such a
that
good deal too.
for $14 with a baked
Yeah.
potato and
One
a
of the
drink.
cheapest things on the menu.
Why would I go to Deluxe Burger and like eat picnic style? Please stop it.
I mean, I like a good deluxe burger as much as the next guy, but for the same money, go get the filet mignon sliders. And even if you if you're
Even
really
the Boathouse
quick on
cheeseburger,
time- See, I've not had that. I need to try that one.
it's fantastic.
By
Fantastic.
far, one of my favorite burgers. Well, there's two go-to burgers, maybe 3 on property, because burgers aren't really a strong point for Disney.
They're not. They flavor them with everything else. The meat itself is like,
Right. There's 3 that are go-tos for me, in reverse order, but the 2 in the top 2 are kind of interchangeable. First one's the Wave. The Wave has an excellent burger at lunch.
I haven't had that burger.
It's really, really good. It's like
I
a
believe
bacon
that.
cheeseburger. Very simple, but it's very, very tasty. Now, the top 2 for me were the Lobster Thermidor burger at Grand Floridian Cafe or Geyser Point's Bison Burger. Both
Awesome.
incredible burgers.
The Edison does have a really good burger too. And when you're feeling like you just want to try something different, the Impossible Burger at the Grand Floridian Cafe.
Yeah, that's like
Taste-
sacrilege for me.
But no, if you gave it to me and told me it was good sirloin,
Yeah.
I'd believe it. Have you
Really?
ever tried one?
I've not tried one. I mean,
Okay, you
the
would not
Kentucky
know.
boy in me says you can't do that.
The New York guy in me would not believe it. It tastes, looks, and eats like beef. It really does. It's just a weird
Really?
thing.
That's
I mean,
good,
I
though.
could-
mean,
I would just get beef.
especially a
if
good
I,
option for people that don't eat meat.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, they do eat meat. If they're eating that, they can eat meat. They just don't know it. 'cause
Yeah, they choose not to.
you wouldn't even know. I'm kidding. You wouldn't even know.
Boathouse, though, their petite
Boathouse.
fillets are wonderful.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. And it's actually, I mean, for what you get, the value is actually very good for the money. Because I think the smaller of the 2 fillets is like $50.
See,
I mean, compare
you-
that to anything
you-
on Disney property, that's a pretty good value, realistically. And it's a higher cut of meat, a better cut of meat.
Deluxe Burger is $10 for the burger, $5 for the fries. You're gonna get a drink for $3.50, and it's like
Yeah.
close to $20. The
Yeah.
cheeseburger with the fries or the potato and the drink at Boathouse comes out to like $19.
And if you can't get a reservation, just go out to the dock and eat out on the dock side bar. Walk-ups are
agree.
welcome. It's an amazing experience at sunset, especially if the weather's right. It's great.
David says, I don't need anything petite. I want the biggest.
That sounds familiar.
That is. Okay, so getting back to Mama Melrose, pretty good place. What are the Animal Kingdom? Oh, Yak and Yeti.
Yeah, I normally go Yak and Yeti there, mostly because it's easy to get in.
And Magic Kingdom just is kind of. There is one good place I like in Magic Kingdom.
What?
You?
I gotta see what yours is first.
The Plaza. It's a tiny little hole in the wall. Really?
I love the Plaza.
Me
I've got
too.
it. I've got it as a reservation next week. I can verify that. And I will say I do love Crystal Palace, but it's more experiential than anything. And I go at lunch because it's a little cheaper and it's basically the same menu. And their buffet offerings have gone up in the last 5 years. Have gotten better.
But what is it now? Are they still doing a buffet now where they serve you, or is it not even?
Open.
They're not open yet.
They weren't. At least reservations weren't available when we looked because we'd have to rebook our trip like 4 times at this point. But yeah, so we if it is open, I don't think it is. We couldn't get in. Another one that I'm trying again for the first time in literally like 10 years is Liberty Tree. We're trying it this week. I mean, I haven't been.
I've heard it's changed a little bit.
I have too. That's part of the reason I'm trying it because I want to re-review it and have a new take on it because it's been so long. But I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. I've heard great things. So we might get a mixed bag when I get there.
The Plaza, if you look at the size of the kitchen of the Plaza, you wouldn't believe what comes out of the kitchen. The size of the kitchen
is really good food.
It's tiny. Yeah, it's very good food. And you know what else is really good there? The soup.
Really?
There's do you like tomato soup?
Sorta. Yeah, it's not bad.
There's a tomato basil soup there that I just go nuts over. Oh, really? Skipper Canteen. You know, it's hit and miss for me, but I like some of the things. It's expensive. You have to get out a small business loan.
An odd menu, and I'm somewhat picky. I'm not like super picky, but the people I travel with are super picky. so like I'll try about anything once, but it's not one that like. If I have 1 or 2 days in Magic Kingdom, I'm not going to Skipper Canteen. Sorry, Jason.
do they still have the pot roast at Liberty Tree? They have to. I mean, they can't get rid of that.
I bet
right?
they do. I don't know.
That would be amazing.
I didn't even look at the menu. I just booked it.
Al is another one of those skinny guys that knows food, but when you meet him, you don't think he eats like maybe once a week, maybe.
I've met Al one time at Momentum.
Oh, nice I'm sorry. Oh, that's right. You met him at Momentum. That's
yeah.
right. I forgot about that.
Nice guy. Yeah,
I forgot he was there. That's why he's at this show, because of you, not for me. Not for you.
I doubt it.
So this he does probably remember you, I'm sure. Michael P. Ruffin says Skipper does have an out-of-box menu, so it's good though, but it's not what everyone's. Oh, they have other. Okay, yeah. They do, Don. Before we break today, we're not going to break for a little bit. I have a little surprise at the end of this. I have some fireworks, just a little finale from a DVC fireworks that I want us to get back into the mood because we don't see it anymore. But I have to go and mention this, Don, while you're here. I'm going to do again. I'm pushing this book, Don. We're going to get some sales for this book tonight. Don, what is it number? If you can tell me in the chat room, is it number 4 on the list of Amazon? I want to get it to 3 for you. Do you see that name there, Donald G. Nicholson? And I did get this here. Look at this. 20 ratings on Amazon, and they're all 5 stars. So something's good about this. We have to read it. The long and short of it, 5 novellas in the Savage title universe. I didn't even know a Savage title universe was a thing. But Donald Nicholson, no, I know. If it was a Disney horror novel, I'd be really into it.
That is quite the feat to get that high on Amazon, too. That's tough.
And people do mention, people in the reviews actually mention his portion of the book, too. So that's kind of exciting.
Awesome, yeah. Doing something right for sure there.
Yeah. While we're talking now, I'm going to put this back. If you guys have questions for me or for Colin, now is the time before we watch some fireworks. Oh, thank you, Mary, for buying the Kindle version. I appreciate it very much, and I'm sure Don does too.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have cheeseburgers at Liberty Tree?
Might have to try that now.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Just for the heck of it, I might have to try that. Again, it might be one of those things we all order something different. We share it all, which is probably frowned upon right now, but we're all family, so.
Don says it's number 3 in action adverbiture. I didn't even know there was a category action adverbiture. I know what you mean, Don. Yeah, why? You know, again, everything is about saving money. So, what are you most excited about, Colin, that's coming to the parks?
Ooh, that's a hard question, actually.
That's all right.
That's
Is
all.
it like Guardians? Is it Tron? Is it Ratatouille? Is it none of the above and something?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to just Epcot in general. What comes of that and what they're going to do because they have such grand expectations. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Um, I am actually really highly looking forward to the Ratatouille attraction because I think it's one of those things that has not got a lot of media attention, that has
I
not
agree.
got a lot of press or probably what it deserves. And I've heard from people that have been to the Disneyland, I guess it's Disneyland Paris version, that it's really, really cool. And I
I
think
will
it's going
tell
to be
you,
one of
I
the standout things that most people aren't going to expect to be as popular as it ends up being. Because it's one anybody can ride it too. I mean, it's not a roller coaster. It's kind of like the Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway at
pretty
Hollywood
much.
Studios. Anybody can ride it. And I think
I walked.
it's a good push for Disney right now is that they open more stuff that's that way because there's a lot of roller coaster focus.
I walked through 3 of the sets here at Epcot, and I can't wait. I was blown away. It should be when I walked through it. It looked like it was ready to turn a switch, and I can get on it now. So
How
I'm
long
sure
ago
they're
was that?
just
At least 3
September.
months.
I
Yeah.
think it was September.
Oh wow.
So I'm sure they're just working on the back and isn't there a creperie going in there?
Yeah, there's a little creperie restaurant type deal. I don't know if it's a walk-up window or it's a full restaurant. I should know that. But
I think it's.
I know they're
I think
doing a
it's
lot of groundwork to get
It might be
the
both.
area open, to like expand that pavilion quite a bit. They may just be holding off on the crowds too right now.
It could be
I
that right
bet it's
now.
done.
Right,
'Cause
right
if you
now, I
look
wouldn't
at
want
the
to.
Skyliner and you go past it, it looks done, or at least basically done. It's been
Does
that
it?
way for a while. Like
I haven't seen it from above in a
last time I
while.
went past it, what I guess was in late February, probably late January or late February, one or the other. And it was pretty close then. At least the outside of it looked pretty close. When you went by on the skyline, I mean, there's like construction walls up, and there's like a few vehicles around and that kind of stuff. But as far as like the main stuff looked like it was done then, I can only imagine they're just obviously they've had to pause construction for a while, but I can't imagine there being that much left to do.
Right, the Cherry Tree Lane was officially paused. It
Yeah.
could be away forever, or it could come back. But right now,
Yeah, that's kind of been a hard spot for Epcot for a while. I mean, they've tried to do a few different Mary Poppins things over the years in the UK pavilion. Inevitably, every one of them gets paused.
Yeah, the center thing they're going to do I forgot what they're calling it. That centerpiece that's supposed to be like 3 floors. Was it the
Mhm.
festival center?
Yeah, and you're supposed to like a few fireworks from the top of it.
Yeah, something's changing. I don't know what it is,
I
but
have
I
a
know
feeling it won't happen.
that's really sad if it doesn't happen.
Yeah, because it was one of the things that looked really, really cool.
Thank you. That's why we're not getting it. We can't have nice things.
But no, seriously though, when the concept art came out, that was the thing that I was most excited about. Because I'm like, that one for photography, that's gonna be an incredible view of Harmonious when
agree.
they get it done. And if nothing else, it's going to be a spectacular spot to go and just observe Epcot, because there's nothing in the park that's that tall that you can stay in at least for any amount of time. I mean, Test Track's on the second floor, but I mean that's about it, unless you're in the DVC lounge at Journey into Imagination. There's not much that you can look down on the park and see the full scale of it, unless you're in a resort nearby or something.
It doesn't seem like a very expensive thing. They should. I think they should keep that. like I'm spending the money. I do think the statue. I can't imagine them getting rid of. Yeah, I say you should do it. I can't imagine they'll get rid of the Walt statue, Jeremy. I'm sure that's
Yeah,
that's
I'm
probably
sure
done already.
Or it's
I'm
already
sure-
in progress so much that they couldn't reverse it.
Jason, I think they thought of that. No, I mean, who says you have to see Spaceship Earth from World Showcase? Is that a rule?
I think I could be very wrong. I think it's supposed to sit like where the butterfly garden used to be. So I think it would be kind of offset theoretically.
I hope it still happens. I know, but didn't we did hear that something was changing with it, right? Didn't something come out?
I've not read anything official on it, but I have heard a lot.
Okay, I'm hoping it's not official, and I'm wrong.
Yeah. I hope it stays. It was one of the things I was really excited about.
Yeah, I was really excited about the Spaceship Earth upgrade, and I'm sure it'll come again, but not now.
No, I again, a lot of this is probably just shell for the time being. I mean, once they get revenue back up and some of this stuff hopefully passes in whatever due time that is. I mean, we'll see it resurface. I'm almost positive we'll see something else new resurface because that's how Disney is. I mean, as they always say, a good idea never dies in Imagineering. There's always something on the horizon. There's always something they can pull from. There's always something on the radar. Realistically, I mean,
I agree.
Just look at Tron. I mean, they said it wasn't coming for years, and all of a sudden it's coming. Like, and it's coming with a vengeance now. But I'm really looking forward to that.
Where are all the social media places that people could follow you? We know guide 4, the number 4, WDW.com. And that's not really a follow thing.
Use that anywhere. Basically, any community you can find me on is Guide4WDW. That's where I am on Instagram. That's what I am on Facebook. You can also look up my name on Facebook. It's Collin Kendall. If you want to send me a friend request, I'll accept all the ones that I can until it decides to cut me off on that one. And then I have the Guide4WDW community on Facebook. And we also just launched the After Hours community, where the people that watch our show can interact and enjoy some time, interact with each other, have some fun there. Share what they want to share. I mean, we're not.
Yeah, I'm sorry that Jason isn't going to be a part of that show anymore. I thought he was a lot of fun.
We've kicked him off forever. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, was that not something? I'm so sorry. Was that not something I was supposed to say? I was hoping you'd be more shocked.
He deserves it so much.
we love Jason.
He's a
all right. So,
guy.
are you going to hang out for 2 minutes? I'm gonna take us out of here, and we're gonna do a little bit of fireworks just to end the night. Thank you again, everybody, for joining. The guest next week is pretty good. Colin, you might want to show up. Have you heard of a guy named Dan Cockrell?
Yeah, I have.
Dan will
I've not
be
met
here.
him yet, but he's a nice
He
guy.
will. You can meet him. You can meet him virtually. Dan Cockrell will be here talking about his new book, How is the Culture in Your Kingdom? I think that's what it's called.
Nice.
Speaking of books, one more time, guys, go get this on the list for me. Go pick up either a Kindle or a paperback. You're doing it for Donald G. Nicholson and me. The long and short of it. I do want to read what Donald Nicholson writes. I also want to make fun. I want to yank his chain a little bit too.
Not much of a reader, but I might have to check that one out.
We might have to check that little out. If you don't, I'll send you a little because you were a guest. So I can send you a little thing. So yeah, thank you guys. If you go to bigfatpandemonium.com, you'll go to my, I say it's new, it's been out for a year now, Facebook group that I'm trying to build, and it takes a while, but it's a lot of fun. So let's get some fireworks. Thank you. Colin, this kiss is for the guests, not for you. Well, thank you for joining, everyone. Let's go watch some fireworks.
We'll
Colin, thank you. Yeah, and I want to come back onto one of your shows because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll do it. It's a lot of fun. We had a blast. It was one of our best shows, actually, too. So you can pat yourself on the back for that.
I want new sounds, though. I want new sounds next time.
Something a little better.
Guys, I will be reading the chat room for this next minute. I want to know if you like this. The partner statue was right in the center. I purposely did it because I always do the fireworks with just the castle. So hopefully you like this.
There you go.
Good night, everyone.
There's still time to enjoy attractions all around the magic.
And I did forget to tell you something. Colin, I'll bring Colin back for a second. You'll be interested in this too. This Saturday on Disney Night Live that I do with the Now That's Disney people and Stan Solo from Grand Circle Tour podcast. They really are good folks. I say that about David because he pays me to say that. But it's a Christmas in July episode this Saturday. It's 8 o'clock on Now That's Disney. Somebody from the North Pole is coming to visit.
Uh-oh. Special guest?
It's for real, special guest from the North Pole. And he's making toys and stuff. So I'm saying goodbye again. Thank you again, Colin. Good night, everyone. We will talk to you soon.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.